Are you serious? Are you serious? Of course, Pastor Valdez up there in Michigan gave me this beautiful cup for the Michigan Wolverines. Well, we just got a cup in the mail. We're going to find out who sent it to us for the Michigan State Spartans. And so tonight, we'll be drinking from the Michigan State Spartan Cup. Now remember, if you're going to send in a cup to represent your team, it has to be big. Okay, like that. Hang on a second. Oh, man, good coffee. Now, Nikki Haley has just received an incredible honor, and as she has just been named, according to breaking Israeli news, the Sanhedrin has invited Nikki Haley to be the honorary president of their organization of 70 nations. This organization is trying to protect Israel's rights to their border. During their session, during a recent meetings, the Sanhedrin decided to choose Nikki Haley, the former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations of the United States, to be the honorary president of the organization of 70 nations. This was their decision. God established the borders of the world based on 70 children of Israel who went down to Egypt, and the 70 nations that came out from there. Matter of fact, the concept of the 70 nations is from the Bible. It symbolizes the basis for the organization while not being intended to imply a limit or requirement for participation. So in other words, they're saying there could be more than 70 nations, but it was originally 70 people who went to Israel, went to Egypt, when Joseph was sold in as a slave and later became the governor of Egypt. It was his brothers, his father, a total of 70 children that went down there. And so from that came 70 nations. Now, the concept of 70 nations also appeared in the temple throughout history during the Feast of Tabernacles, when they would offer 70 oxen to be sacrificed back under the Old Testament. And remember, Jesus sent out his disciples even by two, and he sent out 70. He sent them out by twos, and there were 70 of them. And they represented the 70 palm trees that you can read about in the Old Testament. So the 70, and we know that, as a matter of fact, even the Second Temple was destroyed in 70 AD by the Roman Empire. Now, the decision by President Donald Trump to enact Nikki Haley as, by his emissary Nikki Haley regarding the United Nations, by which he removed his country's support, were fitted and proper response to the actions of the UN. So when President Trump stood up against the United Nations using Nikki Haley, it was the right thing to do. And according to Rabbi Weiss, spokesman for the Sanhedrin, he explained the decision to have Nikki Haley to head the organization. Nikki Haley has displayed great strength of character that has showed deeply sincere and unwavering willingness to fight for truth. Matter of fact, Rabbi Weiss told Breaking Israeli News she was a faithful representative of the President of the United States, President Donald J. Trump, but her character gave her strength that went far beyond even the requirements of her job as the UN ambassador for the United States. Her support of Israel and their claim to control and own the Golan Heights, as well as Jerusalem, came from a belief in the Bible that, of course, borders do matter, okay? And so Nikki Haley became a superstar in the eyes of millions of Israelis and Jews. Even though Nikki Haley was raised a Sikh, she later became a born-again Christian evangelical, just as I am. It believes that, of course, that through the Messiah, Yeshua HaMashiach, that all man has a right to reconciliation to God. And she also understands the biblical importance of the land of Israel and its proper covenant it had with Abraham. And so Nikki Haley has been given a tremendous honor. Matter of fact, she will be the president of this great gathering of 70 nations. Now, we're going to find out who the 70 nations are that are actually going to gather in Jerusalem there on Mount Zion. One thing's for sure, Rabbi Weiss who is the head of the Sanhedrin, explained this to is breaking Israeli news. Matter of fact, they're even going to mint a coin in honor of Nikki Haley. The project is going to also have a world creation concert that's going to be taking place. We know that there's nations coming from all over the world to participate in this, and so it will be a great event and a tremendous honor for one of our fellow Christians. Think about this, guys. Now, you know you're in the last days when the Sanhedrin, the most strictest orthodox organization of Judaism, invites a Christian from the United States to be the honorary president of this gathering of 70 nations. And the gathering of 70 nations' purpose is to strengthen the borders of Israel and to recognize Israel's right to be a sovereign nation, including Jerusalem as its capital and the Golan Heights as its land. Congratulations to Nikki Haley, and we'll continue to keep an eye on this conference because it will have significant biblical ramifications of the building of the third temple, which if you study the Bible, which I do in eschatology, it is such an important part of this end times. If you, as Dr. Lester Summerall used to teach, he would say, if you want to know where we're at in Bible prophecy, keep an eye on Israel, for it is the apple of God's eye, and it is God's prophetic timepiece. So we'll let you know more about what's coming in this gathering. God bless all of you. I have been to the doctor today, and I do have a very severe ear infection, inner ear infection. It got worse. Actually, the medication I was given in San Diego did not clear it up. It has gotten worse. And so I'm on much stronger medication to try to get this cleared up. I need your prayers. I can't have this ear, and I can't be off balance like this. And it's just it's very painful. Now, also I'm struggling with sinus infection and a little bit of laryngitis and swollen glands around here. So I'm really battling some stuff. But I will be with you tonight live at 10 p.m. Eastern. Sister Heidi has done a great job today. She filled in today for me. But you have to understand, she's also working on these workbooks that we're going to be bringing out for you very soon. And she's also taking a Hebrew class right now and a Greek class an hour from now. And I just don't want to put it on her to then come back and do another show tonight. That's just too much. So I'll be here, and our guest will be Mike from around the world and the 5 waves of energy. I'll let him do the talking. I'll see you guys tonight. We got a lot to talk about, a lot going on. New Orleans, we're praying for you. You're underwater, and you got a foot of rain coming, including a hurricane named Barry. We'll be back, folks. Give your life to Jesus Christ. We're running out of time.